Photoshop is built for precision, and even though you may not be an architect, you should strive to design things pixel perfect. This of course means aligning elements precisely, but luckily we have many tools and features that help us do that. Let's draw two rectangles on the canvas so we can explore all the options. First of all, we're going to talk about Smart Guides, which can be turned on from View, Show, Smart Guides. Now, if you're on the Move tool and grab one of the rectangles, you'll see some pink lines appear. Those are our Smart Guides, and they help you position everything precisely. You also sense the element wants to snap into place, and that's really helpful. If you want to try it, just make sure you have the Smart Guides active and you have two rectangles. Next, we have our guides. Keep in mind we talked about Smart Guides. The next ones are guides. To use them, you first have to press Ctrl R. Right. On the top and left side, we have these measurements. They themselves are pretty useful, but you can go to the side, click, then drag, and you'll see this cyan line appear. Cyan, light blue, light teal, whatever you want to call it. Again, this snaps into place. For example, if I want to place it in the middle of the rectangle, all I have to do is make sure that layer is active in the Layers panel. Then as I drag, you'll feel Photoshop nudge you where the center is. This works both horizontally and vertically. This allows you to take all the guesswork out of it. If you want even more precision, you can go to View, New Guide. From here, you can specify exactly where you want your guide to be. Just put in a number and press OK. If you want to hide them to avoid distractions, press Ctrl::. Or you can go to View, Show, and here you can select Guides. Now with these lines in place, you can easily arrange elements. You can also do the following. You can select one of the rectangles, then go to View, New Guides from Shape. And as you can see, Photoshop automatically draws up those lines, so you don't have to. With rectangles, it's not such a big deal, but with more complex shapes, it really comes in handy. This feature is only available in the latest version of Photoshop. Please also note that if you're on the Move tool, you may accidentally misplace a guide. As you can see, when I hover over one of them, the icon changes. For that, Photoshop offers the ability to lock your guides with Ctrl::. Now, no matter how much I hover over it, they won't move. They can still be hidden with Ctrl::, but you can't move them by accident. When you want to unlock, just press Ctrl::, again. Finally, let's talk about this section up top next to the Show Transform controls. These are the alignment tools, and they help us arrange things fast. The alignment tools always need at least two elements selected in order to make an adjustment. Here, when we have only one layer selected, all tools are closed because we're missing the second one. That's the condition. When we select the entire canvas with Ctrl+A, we now have two elements, and this entire region lights up. Not all of it, because for this other part we need at least three elements selected. Notice we don't have to have two different layers. A selection is considered an element too. So, Photoshop shows us the available options since the main condition of having at least two elements selected is met. If you simply click and observe each icon, you'll immediately understand what they do. The first icon moves your layer to the top of the canvas. The second one moves it in the middle of the canvas vertically, and the last one puts it at the bottom. If we have these two shapes selected instead of one shape and one selection, look what happens. If I use the first icon, which is Align Top Edges, the rectangle that's above the other one will be used as a reference point. Same thing applies to Align Bottom Edges. The one that's at the bottom will be kept as is, and the other one will be moved. Regarding Align Vertical Centers, both layers will be moved equally. You can easily explore all the icons by simply moving the layers around and clicking again. If you don't see this panel, remember you need to be on the Move tool. Moving on to Distribute Vertical Centers, we need to have three elements selected, so I'll add another rectangle on my canvas. This allows you to stack your 3 layers but keep the same distance between them on the y-axis, or vertically. Don't bother with the other 2 icons, this is what you're going to use the most. Same thing when we move over to distribute horizontal centers. This gives us the same space on the x-axis. You can repeat that a few times until you get the hang of it. I know this seems like a lot of tools, but their icons really tell their story. Plus, if you get it wrong, just undo with Ctrl-Z and try again. You'll get them in no time. Some other important things to know. Say we have these 2 shapes positioned exactly as we want them, except we need them in the exact middle of the canvas. If we have them both selected and press Align Horizontal Centers, they will center among themselves. If I have both layers selected and we select the entire canvas with Ctrl-A, and then hit the same Align Horizontal Centers, the shapes will be in the center of the canvas, but they will lose their previous positioning. To make sure you keep them as they are, you have to first group the 2 layers with Ctrl-G. Now you have 2 things selected, the canvas and the group. Use Align Horizontal Centers, and there you go. Make sure you really understand what I just did. This is a major point you have to get before you move forward. That's the basics of the alignment tools. They're very useful in every single project. Make sure you fully understand them before moving forward. Oh, and for those skeptics that might be asking, why is this useful? Let's jump over to another tab, and here you'll have your next exercise. You have 9 rectangles that need to be arranged in a grid. Be as efficient as possible and make sure everything is pixel perfect. Use all of the knowledge from this lecture. You can work with smart guides, or by using these alignment tools we just talked about. Do it several times in several ways if possible to really cement your understanding of them. Just in case you don't know how to do it, don't worry, you can see how I'd do it at the end of the course. Have fun!